Smoking. Being a real dummy, I decided it was best to stop those and began smoking cigarettes instead. Now, of course, I'm not endorsing smoking, but, as most people tend to do, I was looking for any excuse to continue it. I felt that with all my pain and suffering battling skin eruptions, disfiguring yellow eye patches and swelling lips, I at least deserved this vice. I just resigned myself to the fact that I would have to live with pockets under my eyes and started using my flesh makeup to try and cover them up. That at least gave me a false sense of security that people wouldn't notice the patches as easily. Chapter 4, Gynecomastia. The year 2000 finally, I caught up with the rest of the world and had a computer and internet. Now I could really get down to finding out how to solve, cure, or otherwise manage all these ailments of mine. I feverishly searched for anything that I thought could help with this continued welt, producing acne. I remembered that, years ago, one of the first doctors I visited suggested it might be a result of a male hormonal imbalance. By now, I was going to a regular family physician for high blood pressure. I had, of course, talked with him about the acne, but through my beard, he couldn't really see the full extent of the eruptions. Not once did he suggest anything other than to try to clean my face more often and use blemish cream. I found several articles suggesting that a high level of testosterone in men had caused adult acne. Perhaps this had been my problem all along. Without going into much detail, I had a condition that might have resulted in an imbalance of producing testosterone. What did I have to lose? I found the name of an alternative high blood pressure medicine that also reduced the amount of testosterone produced. Maybe this was the answer. I told my physician what I had found, and he was more than eager to write me a prescription. The medicine was spironolactone and had a good review for both acne and high blood pressure. I started taking the medicine immediately, thinking maybe I'd finally found a solution not only for HBP, but for my welts. The drug did indeed regulate my HBP, but as weeks went by, I didn't notice any difference in my acne. Trying not to be deterred, I continued taking the medicine in hopes it would finally kick in. As a man, I don't pay much attention to too many things, but I started noticing that somehow my breasts, particularly around the nipple area, seemed to be a little bigger than I remembered. I was in one of my between times of weight loss and gain. It just so happened that at this time, I was on the heavy end of the scale. Perhaps, I thought, this combined with the aging process, could account for the growth. Now, within 6 months of taking the spironolactone, my breasts had grown to about the size of a 10-year-old girl. Upon reading more about the drug, I discovered that the breast growth was a known side effect. What an idiot I was. I should have researched better, and the doctor either didn't know or didn't bother to tell me. The side effects. I immediately stopped taking the drug and went back to the doctor. At the office visit, the doctor, of course, wanted to see what I was talking about. Humiliated, I slowly removed my shirt to expose the enlargement of my breasts. He, quite surprised, asked if I wasn't like that before. Here I had been thinking what an idiot I was, and now this imbecile asks such a stupid question. I tried to maintain my anger and said, "Of course not." Unfortunately, once again, this was a condition that could not be reversed. Only surgery could eliminate the excessive breast material. My breasts continued to grow for at least a few more months even though I had stopped taking the spironolactone. Now what? Chapter 5, Folliculitis continued. Year 2008. Now 20 years since it began, I was still suffering from the acne and huge welts along my beard line. Not only that, several welts would appear then disappear on my scalp. I have maintained a beard almost exclusively throughout these years, only occasionally shaving. When I did shave, it would only be a few days before I would once again be forced to regrow the beard. My thinking, by shaving, was that perhaps the length of the beard hair was somehow contributing to follicle clogging. Yet again, I finally got to the point that I knew I would have to go to a dermatologist. This time, though, I was determined to get to the root of my problem. I found a specialist who dealt with teenage, kids, and adult acne, what it said in her advertisement anyway, and made an appointment. I had to wait nearly 2 months for an appointment, but felt that I had no choice. Finally, the appointment date arrived. The doctor came in and I explained what had been going on. One look and bingo. She diagnosed folliculitis as the culprit. I told her about the struggle I'd had through the years and she assured me I was finally going to get relief. Whew. About time. I was given a steroid shot and 2 prescriptions. One an antibiotic and the other an antibiotic cream. Needless to say, I commenced taking the pills and using the cream immediately, and within a few days the welts started to subside. I kept cleaning my face regularly and tried to maintain a relatively bacteria-free environment at home. I felt like a new man, yet ticked because I had suffered so long with no help from previous doctors. Anyway, for now, I was free from the plague. I continued the antibiotics until gone, not skimping on a single day. I continued the cream and even used a refill or 2. Everything seemed rosy until about 3 months later. All of a sudden, there it was. A small, red blemish, sneaking in around the bottom of my chin. No. Not again. Yet, there it was, big as day now. I contacted my dermatologist and told her what was happening. She called in another round of antibiotics and said that in severe cases, which I had, it wasn't unusual to have to continue treatment for a while. Well, 30 years later, 3 doctors later, and at least 30 treatments of antibiotics later, I'm still battling folliculitis. Here is a list of the prescription medicines I've tried: cephalic dicloxacillin, doxycycline, minocycline, ciprofloxacin, levofloxacin. I've used these prescribed OTC creams and home remedies. Mupirocin, Bactroban, benzyl peroxide, bacitracin, hydrocortisone cream, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, ultra violet light. I'm sure I tried even more OTC and home remedies, but through the years have forgotten what they were. Obviously, they didn't work either. The only thing that gave me any relief and cleared up the welts significantly, but temporarily, were the prescription antibiotics. As long as I took them, the welts and bumps would subside, although they won't completely go away. As soon as I stop taking the antibiotics though, the folliculitis immediately starts again. A vicious cycle indeed. For now, 2008 and on, I'm stuck going to the doctor about every 6 months for another prescription. Chapter 6, Food Allergies. Continued the years, 1982 to 88. During this period, the main symptom of my food allergies was the lip swelling and ankle swelling. I would always feel the tingling sensation in my lips approximately 10 minutes before the